Hi neighbors, hi friends, hi visitors. So good to have you back, and we're excited to share another video in our series on these age gap talks, right?
Yes.
So today, babe, we're going to be talking about exactly what we mean when we talk about age gap relationships,
Yes.
and just how big a difference is. It's just too big in the years, you know?
Yeah. How big is too big?
Right. At what point does it become uncomfortable and unpleasant for somebody when they think about, the age difference between them and their partner?
Right.
But before we continue, first of all, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and like the video. Share with somebody who you think needs to hear this content or just wants to listen in. We're always willing and ready with open arms to accept new members in our neighborhood.
Yes. So welcome to all our newest subscribers. So we're picking up from yesterday. We did our big age gap reveal in yesterday's video. And some of you were able to guess the age gap correctly. Some of you were off by a little. Some of you were off by a lot.
Wow.
Right? I guess age and how age is perceived is very subjective then, I suppose. But guys, the comments, you guys give such beautiful, constructive comments. Thank you so much for your words of encouragement to us. And I was saying this when I read the comments today, that those very comments not only encourage us as an age gap couple, but they will serve as encouragement for other persons who encounter the fear of judgment, who have been judged because they're in an age gap relationship. And I think it's very important to have a record of these words of encouragement so that people can know that not everybody thinks about age gap relationships in the same way.
So other people are being encouraged by your words. Just yesterday we saw a comment where someone was saying that she's in a similar situation where she's older than her partner. They have a child on the way, but the in-laws or the partner's parents are not as supportive.
Yeah.
They are calling her names as a cradle robber.
Yeah.
And they want her to abort the child. So continue with the positive comments. Speak life over people. You're speaking life to us, but also the persons who you don't even know are receiving those words as just oxygen to their souls. So please continue, guys, to pour out the love.
We are a Christian couple. We are an age gap couple. If you're watching this video for the first time out of our series, there is a 12-year age difference between Paul and I. Our entire story about how we got together, got married, up to this point is documented in our How We Met series. And you can also check out our age reveal, which we did yesterday.
Right. So to start today's discussion, just a couple of things to get your mind going. Isn't it unlikely that somebody would be in a relationship with somebody who is exactly their same age? So chances are you're in a relationship with somebody who is at least 1 year or 2 years, you're a junior,
older or younger,
right?
Yeah.
What if you become attracted to somebody, you get to know them, and you develop this love for them, but then after this time and you decide to take things more seriously, the age comes up and what your assumptions were, it's far off, and now you realize that there's this big difference in the ages. What do you do then?
Right. We have actually had that scenario in the comments under our How We Met series, actually.
Babe, that was what happened to us. You thought I was she knew I was younger, that was clear, but she didn't think I was
that much younger. Right. So make sure you go and watch part 1 of our How We Met series.
So when it came out, she was like, oh, this is what I expected.
I had never dated anybody before who was younger than myself, and I had personally only dated older, 2 years older, 7 years older, 9 years older, right? But that wasn't never an issue. When I dated,
it felt normal.
A man who was older, it never seemed strange to me, and nobody ever mentioned it as an issue, as a problem.
Right.
However, when I started to develop feelings for Paul, that was just blown right out of the water, right?
So basically, you're saying that you had a preconceived notion then. What age do you consider what difference do you consider to be too big?
I think at the time, up to 10 years older than me would have seemed okay, right? But then after
So how much younger? No, you weren't entertaining any?
I wasn't entertaining younger any at all.
Okay.
It never even crossed my mind.
Here.
Yeah. Which is why when
I swept you off your feet.
Which is why when I started to develop feelings for this gentleman over here, this dark chocolate, I rule it out. I was just like, no, don't even think about it. Not happening. Not today. Not ever. No. But then, there were certain things happening in my mind that said, give it a chance, which was having had previous bad experiences. I said to myself, why not explore this as an option?
I know, thinking back, as you brought up a while ago, I think it's only 1 year older that I've dated. That was after I got over my story, with the praying about the God reversing the age gap.
Right.
Because there was somebody I was attracted to.
Go watch the previous video.
Where I was praying that God, please let me be 1 year older. She was a year older than I am, or I was. And I was saying, God, please let me be a year older than her when I wake up tomorrow morning. And it never worked. But I think where I was, I guess a year or so older would have been acceptable. Younger, of course, is normal. So I considered younger normal. My parents were 5 years apart. My father being 5 years older than my mother. So that to me was normal. A year older is fine. I mean, but 5 years, 10 years, 12 years was never.
When I started to develop an interest in Paul, I knew he was younger. And when I decided to explore the possibility of us dating, I accepted in my mind a 5-year age difference. So when it came to light that you were younger than 5 years, it's like my mind just, I couldn't wrap my mind around the idea of dating somebody that was that much younger than me, and it became a problem. And that is what our How We Met series, the part 1 was all about, and some parts of part 2 was all about that as well, because there was a psychological line in the sand that I was drawing about how much was too much, how much of an age difference was I comfortable with, and I was uncomfortable going beyond that.
True. But don't take our word for it only. We did a poll in August and we had about 1,200 respondents. And bear in mind, that is a big random sample size. I think it's representative probably of what the truth is.
At least of our known community,
right?
Which is currently, we're about 13,000 subscribers. We hit 13,000 today, guys. Woo woo! Thank you so much for your responses to that poll, guys. Amazing that we have these results that we can talk about now.
Right. So just to take it through it quickly, and you'll see it on the screen. 6% said they don't want any age difference, must be the same age.
Right.
And 27% said no more than 5 years. 27% said no more than 10 years. And the persons who are saying, you know what, age is just a number, it's not important to me, was 33%.
Yes, that was the highest.
The highest one. So persons were generally saying, it doesn't matter. To give perspective to these findings, 2 out of 3 people would not be accepting of
our relationship
based on the age gap that we have. And as a matter of fact, let me just say, I would not have been comfortable with. If I were participating in this poll, I would have been a part of the people saying no more than 5 years or no more than 10 years. That's
Me
where
too.
I was mentally.
Me too.
If I weren't a part of this partnership with Tina.
Right.
We'll have some comments though that were interesting, and we're going to pick out a few to share with you because 8% opted to, it couldn't be put into these categories.
Into these categories.
So, right. So they just said what was on their mind.
Right. So we got a wide range of comments to this poll. So girl, for example, says, as long as he's older than I am, then I am good. We got an interesting response from Nicole Macmillan. Thank you, Nicole, for sharing this with us. She says, my experience at a young age was 23 years my senior. That's her partner was 23 years older. The gap never was of concern for me or my family, not that they had a say. And she says that after 6 years and a son, they parted. And now, 40 years later, I never thought it conceivable that I would be with someone younger than myself. She says there is a saying, never say never. Now, her partner is 11 years her junior, and they are already 4 years into the relationship. Shade Gardner said, as long as the person is legally an adult, 18 plus, I am open to getting to know him. No R. Kelly business around here. Certainly not. No R. Kelly business around here at all. And that is what we are advocating on this channel. Adults only engaging in a relationship. Right. So Tanya says, I used to only date men older than me. Sounds familiar?
However,
now I mainly meet men that are significantly younger than me. Currently, the gentleman I am talking to is 19 years younger, and surprisingly, he is more mature than some men my age. And I'm going to just read one more comment from Voices. Voices says, I used to believe people should be in a relationship with their age group and that it looks better if the man is older. And I used to live by that philosophy until, and she have that in all caps, I met and fell in love with a man that I am 12 years older than. He was the one that pursued me. And after battling with my beliefs, I had to give in to my heart. Wow. I know he genuinely loves me. We are so connected in every aspect. We also have another perspective from Stacey McKenzie, who says, I personally like older men, so 10 to 20 years difference is okay for me.
I find it interesting actually that there were so many different views. Some persons are almost hard and fast on, a woman wanting somebody older. That's just for me. She wants somebody older.
Right.
Some are, I'm open.
Some are, don't knock it till you've tried it.
Right. Some are hard and fast until.
Yes.
I was thinking this way until I met this one person. Sometimes there may be just that one person, not calling my name, that just, you see him in all his, tall, dark, and handsome, playing at church, keyboard and all, and he's buff, and, going to gym. I'm going on too much. All right, so there's just that one person, she's a browning, and you're just like...
People don't like air when you say that.
Well, she's a browning and her hair long, and you're just looking at her like, wow. How can I get to know this young lady a little more, If I had time to just, whisper in her ear. So, for me personally, that was my experience. Not going to get somebody older until I met Tina.
Yeah.
And for you as well, it was...
Yeah, and for me, it was the same thing. Mm-hmm. I wasn't going to entertain. If somebody came up to me and was going to set me up on a blind date.
But hear this now. What if you knew up front what my age was? Would you even have entertained it?
We will never know, no, shall we? I don't know, because I really wasn't thinking about that. I really wasn't. I was really surprised at the age difference, right? Because of his level of maturity. And you know why I wouldn't have entertained it? I wouldn't have entertained it because I had assumptions in my mind about him being younger. Because in my mind, the assumption was that younger man equals less maturity.
Mm-hmm.
An older man equals more maturity.
And stability and all
And
those things that come with
stability
the
and
time.
financial security and
Career already at a
right,
stage
right
and
at
all
the
that.
stage to settle down because of course I being a woman, especially because I had already had a child, I'm looking to have a stable family, right? I'm looking to have to be in a stable relationship, settle down, have a family, all that jazz. And the assumption was that a younger man would not fit the bill. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just plain and simple.
True.
And your assumptions.
My assumptions were a whole heap. Like I can say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because for me, primarily, because I grew up in a home where my father is older, and from such a young age, I was just of that impression that the man needs to be older, and again, the man needs to be the one financially
The
stable.
breadwinner.
The man needs to be the one who, the person who, and I just thought that came with age.
Yeah.
So I need to be the older one to be able to lead and all those things. There seems to be a greater acceptance for a man who is 15 years older than a woman,
Yes.
than a woman who is even 10 years or 5 years older than her partner.
Right. It's almost as if there is this inverse relationship between age difference and acceptance, right? The acceptability of this relationship. So it's if the older you get, generally speaking, the less acceptable it is from a society standpoint, right? So man and woman, I think it applies that the older you are, somewhat less acceptable it is. However, for a woman, that the level of where it becomes unacceptable, completely
It's
unacceptable.
earlier.
That threshold is so much earlier than for men. For women, it's probably like maybe 5 years, between 5 and 10 years, and you will see that in the comments too.
Yeah, so like if a woman is 5 years older, it's like you're raising a red flag already. Like whoa, 5 years, but while if a man is 15 years, they're like
Yeah, you can go on. It can go on. It can go on. It's not so bad. It's not so bad.
If it was 20, then it'd raise a red flag, but it's a yellow card. Them get at that point. Just a caution.
Yeah. But when the woman now is like 5, 7
years,
10, 12, 15.
it is like what?
Yeah.
What kind of a disgrace is this?
Right. It starts to become a problem.
Right. True. In our case, as you know, Tina is 12 years older than I am. So she's the older woman, I'm the younger man. And assumptions are imputed upon us or upon our relationship just because
I am the older one in the relationship.
So for me, the things that people would say, or I would imagine them saying, because sometimes you just think it on yourself, because I was of that mind as well.
Yes.
So mommy,
you make assumptions
on your
for other people.
Yourself, right? So they're going to say mommy issues.
Yes.
This young man, oh my God, he's looking for his mother in her, and he didn't have a good relationship with his mother growing up. That's why he's trying to find a mother figure, somebody can take care of him.
Yeah.
To this day, I have a great relationship with my mother. Love her to death. Norma Reed, big up yourself.
And I cannot replace Norma Reed.
So with my mother as well.
Right.
So that is nowhere near the truth for me.
Right. And a lot of these assumptions.
Where did they get it? Where does it come from?
I wonder the same thing.
And I'm not even saying they, because
we had them. We did have them.
It's like we stood the light. It's like like ping.
It's like there were these bag of assumptions that we were carrying on our shoulders from birth,
that
probably,
we didn't even
that we didn't even knew was there. We didn't even know this bag of assumptions was there. And it's like somebody came with a big bat or something, and like a piñata just kind of poof, just knock it open, because then you start to question these norms, because they're norms.
Right.
They're things that you're told growing up. There are things that you grow up and you see. So even if nobody tells you, you grew up, you saw this thing, and you just accepted it as normal.
They're going to think that the man is weak. So me being with a older woman, I'm going to be the submissive one. As somebody said, I'm going to be her rib. I'm going to be the one that is, cowering under the pressure, or whatever she says goes. Is a
Right.
weak, puny man this. Or they may say, him just looking at opportunity, him see that there's somebody who in her career settle down, making, drawing down these millions, and she can do for him what he can't do for himself right now.
Yes.
So he will just, take what he can while he can, and then cut later.
Yeah.
Well,
And these weren't just assumptions, These were actually said in conversations to Paul, right?
Yeah.
Persons actually accused him
Right.
of taking advantage of an older woman.
And be careful that I hurt you.
Right.
Because XYZ. And
Because the assumption is that you're young and you just want to
double.
Yes. You just want to
Oh,
sow
boy.
your seed all over the place and,
Right.
play the field,
Right.
as is often said of the younger man. The assumption is that the younger man does not have enough life experience and is going to want to play the field. But to be honest, you also said this to me. You also had this concern to
Right.
me, expressed this concern that, we're dating now and it feels good now, but what if?
Yeah, because I felt at that time, I think it was two things. It was that I was aware of the assumptions I had, which is the same thing most people have. And so I was hearing my thoughts about what my assumptions were. But also, I think it was an excuse because, again, where we are now with our age gap relationship, talking about our age difference is
Being
not
comfortable with
right
it.
and confident. It is not where we were
At the beginning.
even 2 years ago.
That's true.
We have come a far way. So I think I was just providing excuses to her for me to couple out of the relationship. Because
Yeah.
there are different times, as you will see how we met, where we broke things off.
Yeah.
So that's me, and I was talking too much. Babe.
Don't say that.
All right.
I'd love to hear you speak.
Aww.
Aww.
Anyway, so what are some of the things, though, that you told yourself or that you heard people saying to you?
So, one of the reservations I had was people's impression of me. What were people going to think? Seeing me dating this younger man, because I was very much aware that there is a stigma attached to women who date younger men. And I was very uncomfortable with being stigmatized as a cougar, a cradle robber, a sugar mama. All of those names, all of those things, you know them better than me. So I had in mind also that this was a stereotype that I held, because before being the older woman in the relationship, right? I saw the older woman or heard persons discuss the older woman as being manipulative and dominating, that she's going to try to smother the man, the younger man, that she's going to try to, being the one that is more advanced in her career, she is going to want to try to impose her independence and rule him. So I heard all of those things, and of course I knew that was me. But it was still there that this was the perception that people had of me, and also that there's a perception that I was preying on him, not praying, dear loved ones, praying. Wow.
Oh, I guess that's how the thing comes in. Yeah, and as she's talking, I'm listening to her, and I'm saying and thinking that these problems are not unique to an age gap relationship. In other words, if somebody wants to be manipulative, they will be. It could have been the same exact day and month and year. If the woman wants to be manipulative, she will be. If the man wants to be somebody who is an opportunist,
a simp, a wimp,
he can and be a bum and make her go work, and him stay at home and par and be a cruff. He can be, even if he's the same age, but there is just a certain aspersion and age this is definitely going to result in this.
Right.
Forgetting that these things are common regardless if you remove the age factor.
Yeah.
So I mean,
people assume that it's like age exacerbates
oh gosh,
the issues, the problem, and that people forget. You're
I
so right
I
that
think it
people
just came
forget.
to me, you know, people mistake age with maturity.
Exactly.
That's the line.
That's it.
Somebody who is immature will give you immature results. If you are with somebody who is immature, you will expect results that are shady and
No matter how old.
no matter how old the person is.
Yes.
Somebody, even if they are young or younger, a mature individual, especially as somebody who is spiritually mature, will give you results that you are pleased with.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
So we come down to
that is exactly what it comes down to be, because I have had the experience of dating somebody who was 7 years my senior, and I mean, I was remember just being so appalled at the level of immaturity in this person that that never lasted very long. That was
appalled or appalled. His name was Paul, right?
His name was certainly not Paul.
Gosh, okay. Yeah.
But yes, you're right, because those things are very much a factor. All of those characteristics are very much a factor of immature persons.
Right.
But let us not kid ourselves, people. There are older women who prey on younger men, because there is also a stigma that younger men are more virile, that he have stamina, right? That he is less,
more driven,
that he has less baggage, and so therefore he is more attractive to an older woman. He might be easier to manipulate because there is a power dynamic. He might not be the one with the money. The older woman might be, as we say, more financially secure, and she might use that.
Right, true.
So it exists. And then there are younger men who will see an older woman and say, what?
And
tickets, meal tickets.
True. That's
so let's not kid ourselves that it is out there for real.
Yeah.
But
until, as people say in the comments, until you find that person who does not just have a difference in age but have a similarity in maturity, then you will see that there is nothing to be so alarmed about if the age doesn't align or is very close.
So guys, what we're aiming to do is try to show you a different perspective, because you might have some of these assumptions in your mind as well. And we also want to ensure that we talk about some of the pitfalls, some of the deal breakers, because we've seen in the comments a lot of people say, as long as you love each other, that is enough. Love is good, love is great, love overcomes much. However, there are some real practical issues that break the deal for couples who are in age gap relationships, and we have to touch on those. So we will definitely do that in our next video.
Right. I think we can wrap up this talk here today with this, because the question was how much of an age gap is really too much, but the question should really be how much of a maturity gap is too much. Is it?
To explain Mr. Wisdom.
Could that be the question?
Hey, listen to me now. Hey, you see, one of the things I love about this man,
is the wisdom. You're making me sweat. I've wiped my face. Hold on.
They end up big for nothing, He is so full of wisdom. So full of God's grace.
No man, but seriously, stop it. But seriously though, the question I don't think should be how big a difference is in age, but how big a difference is in maturity. And again, a big factor why we work is Christ is the center. So yes, maturity in terms of, financial maturity, how you handle money, your views on what is important in life, those kind of things. But are you willing to submit to Christ, His ways, His plans for your life. And if there's oneness in that kind of a thinking process, then you're more than halfway there.
Yeah.
Right? So this was just a way for us to all, not to convince you, because again, we were of the thinking that, I'm not going to get somebody older, and she was going to get somebody younger, until there was this revelation
Yes.
that was made to us.
Yes.
But let us pause long enough the question what our assumptions are,
Exactly.
and to
And
see
the kind of norms that we grew up
to accept.
accepting.
Yeah.
Should we continue accepting them?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Those things I think we need to bear in mind, and also where we are with our partner. And when we talk about partner, we're now talking in the context of a Christian relationship. How spiritually compatible are we really? That is a question that should be at the forefront of your mind, as opposed to the age.
Mm-hmm.
Because age and maturity, as we've said before, do not necessarily, sometimes do, but do not necessarily go hand in hand.
Right. Thank you for watching today. Remember, if you're new, please subscribe, share with somebody who you think would enjoy this kind of content, and we look forward to hearing from you, whether by email or in the comments, and we will see you tomorrow, where we'll be discussing what?
Deal breakers.
Showstoppers
in age gap relationships.
All right, so until next time, everybody, neighborhood, friends, visitors, love you, take care, and big up from me and my host. Bye.